Hi guys, welcome to a new video. So in this video I'll be reviewing the movie Replicas, a sci-fi thriller drama that came out last year, January 2019, but I've only seen it 4 days ago. I regret not reviewing it right away because the movie is pretty forgettable, so I'll try to remember most of it as I do this review. What I can tell you is it's not as bad as all the reviews I've seen suggest. Basically every single review bashes the movie, says it's one of the worst movies ever. I have a different opinion on that. I'm going to talk about that in details in this video. So Replica stars Keanu Reeves and Alice Ave. Keanu Reeves plays a brilliant neuroscientist. After a horrific car accident kills his family, he'll stop at nothing to bring them back, even if it means pitting himself against a government-controlled laboratory, a police task force, and the physical laws of science. First of all, Keanu Reeves playing a neuroscientist. I mean, that's already funny enough, right? But the guy's so charismatic and so likable, even when his acting is not that great. I'm gonna get into details of that in that video. That you root for him and you want to see him get out whatever tragedy he's in. Doesn't matter how bad his acting is, it's just so likable, and in real life seems like a really nice guy too. And I think that saves the movie from being much worse than it really is. Alright, let's start with the bad about the movie. Let's get this out of the way. The movie has a great concept, cloning, transference of consciousness and all of that, but the execution is very poor. It's a whole sloppy mess, like events doesn't make sense how things progress in the movie. The reactions of the characters, everything seems very rushed, very all over the place. The idea of him bringing his family back as clones, transferring their old consciousness into the clones, and his issues with his boss and the shady government organizations running his work, all of that seems like two different movies in one, like a lot of ideas put into one. The idea of consciousness transference, the idea of cloning, all of that deserves its own focus, its own movie, but seems like a lot of things going on at the same time and seems all over the place. There is a positive about that I'm gonna get into later in the video, but for now that is one of the main negatives of the movie. It's all over the place. Now to talk about acting, it's not that great in the movie from pretty much anyone. It's okay for the most part. It's mostly wooden and laughable, especially from Keanu. He almost plays a parody of himself in the movie. His reactions to the tragic stuff that happens in the movie doesn't come off as genuine. Comes off like a soap opera or like a high school drama play. It's just, you can't help taking it seriously, but again, the guy is so likable. I mean, you just have to enjoy his performance, even if it seems absurd. And that's what he comes off as in a lot of movies that are deemed very bad movies, but I actually enjoy very much, like I did with this one. The chemistry between him and his wife, the main actress Alice Ave in the movie, who I haven't seen before in any other movie by the way, but she's a gorgeous actress. I'm a new fan of her now, but her chemistry with Keanu Reeves is not that great. But she actually plays a pretty decent role, especially towards the end or second half of the movie. Now, the worst part of the movie is CGI. Oh my god, it's atrocious. Like the CGI, especially the robot in the movie, looks like, I heard a lot of people compare it to stop motion animation, like from the old movies. Yeah, it looks pretty bad like that. Like, let's just say CGI from Terminator 2 Judgment Day from 1991 looks way better today than this robot looks, and that movie was filmed in 2016, was scanned for a few years to be released in 2019, never a good sign. Yeah, that movie, 2016 filmed movie, looks much worse than 1991 classic in Terminator 2 Judgment Day. There is no excuse for that. Now to the final negative I have about the movie, without spoiling too much, it's a non-spoiler review for the most part. I didn't like the ending. The ending was pretty bad in my opinion, didn't make much sense. But again, I won't get into that. I actually recommend you guys watch the movie for yourself and judge, because I do find it to be a generally very enjoyable movie despite its flaws. Now to get to the good in the movie, what I liked about it, the idea of transference of consciousness, the idea of cloning, very interesting concepts to explore, the ethical implications of them, the moral dilemmas, how he deals with the clones of his family, what changed about them. They touch on that mostly in a shallow way in the movie, but still enough to enjoy that. And Keanu Reeves just makes it much more fun to watch, despite the sloppy execution and the script being all over the place. And by the way, another thing I think they could have improved a lot, they don't spend a lot of time on Keanu's interactions with his family, his original family, before his accident. They actually spend more time on the clones post-accident, so they really rush that part. So that's also one of the negatives I forgot to mention. They barely spend time with him, his relationship with his family pre-accident. but otherwise, concept is very interesting. Now, the other main good of the movie, Keanu Reeves, despite his almost laughable acting, seems pretty fake, but the guy is so charismatic and, like I said, seems like a pretty decent guy with a tragic past in real life that you really can't help but relate to him and enjoy watching the movie and wanting him to do good, to get out of whatever terrible situation he's in, like in this movie. You can't help but like the guy, so I can't hate him. I'm a big fan of Keanu, and he makes this movie much better than it could have been if someone else played the main character. Now, to get to an interesting positive about the movie, the comedy. I think it has unintentional comedy in it, that even in tragic situations in the movie, I can't help but laugh. Like, I laughed my ass off a few times in the movie because the way they delivered the dialogue and some of the lines, but especially between Keanu and his assistant guy in the movie, is so funny. Like, literally the guy goes like, hey, you gotta watch the levels. You know, those levels I'm talking about with the clones. You gotta watch those levels, okay? I mean, it can't be an accident how funny that sounds and how he delivers those lines and how those lines were written to begin with. So, comedy in the movie, 10 out of 10, I would say. The drama part, not so much, but the comedy is hilarious. I laughed like a lot of times in this movie. Now, another positive in the movie, I talked briefly about Alice Ave, the actress who plays Keanu's wife in the movie. Even though her performance have been mostly wooden, especially at the beginning of the movie, she improves a lot in the second half. I'm a new fan of her now. She's actually a pretty good actress from what I've seen, especially in the second half of this movie. I think the script really just doesn't make it easy for those actors to do any good. Not a great script, but her role is pretty decent in the movie, and she has a big role in like saving their family in the second half of the movie. And she works very well with Keanu in action part, not so much a drama, not too much chemistry there, but the action second part of the movie that has much more action, I think she does pretty well, and she makes it more enjoyable to watch. Alright, overall, Replicas was a pretty fun movie to watch. From an entertainment value, which is what all movies seek to do anyway, in my opinion, to entertain viewers, I was pretty entertained to watch this movie, and the suspense aspect of it was pretty decent. I was waiting to see what happens next. The pace was very quick, which brings me back to a lot of things going on, a lot of storylines rushed. This actually contributed to the pace being pretty quick, which somehow worked in that way. But overall, technically the movie is considered a bad movie if you wanna like nitpick every aspect of the storytelling, bad CGI and all of that. But from an entertainment value, I think it succeeded in being a pretty entertaining movie. Keanu's charisma saves that movie in my opinion. Was pretty fun to watch. So, have you guys seen Replicas? If you did, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. If not, let me know what's your favorite Keanu Reeves movie, especially the sci-fi ones. In my opinion, Matrix, the ultimate great series of movies by Keanu. And let me know what your favorite sci-fi action movie is down below in the comments. Subscribe for more awesome content. See you next time.